Global Manager for the World of Work at Cambridge ESOL. Marjorie asked me to remind you as well that there is a competition that we're sponsoring, and it's free entry to next year's BESIG pre-conference. So if you can fill this in and take that back to the stand, that would be great for you. So assessing business English, what is it all about? This morning we're talking about, are we dealing with business or business English? And I'm going to talk about that from the perspective of assessment and what it means for us at Cambridge ESOL. I will then make reference to our business English certificate and then move on to integrating teaching, learning and assessment, and one of the activities we're involved in at Cambridge ESOL relating to this for business English. At Cambridge ESOL, we are experts in language assessment. When we go into companies with our assessments, corporations are not expecting us to assess on management training. They have experts for that, and they have trainers for that, they've got tests for that, etc. They're expecting us to provide an assessment of the business language competencies of their clients, of their employees. What we are assessing is assessment of English in a business context. So we are not testing business or business methodology. The teachers that are preparing candidates or learners for the assessments are expected to teach English in a business context. And there's been a lot of discussion this morning about the expertise we may need, and that will, there'll be further discussion this afternoon relating to that. But where do we actually draw the line between going in as business experts and business English experts is a very interesting discussion, and this afternoon will be quite interesting to talk about that a lot more. I started off with business English in the early 90s, and one of the first courses I attended was with Paul East. It was a diploma in business English. And we started then talking about this topic, and it's quite interesting, 20 years later, almost 20 years later, we're still discussing this in this type of forum. But most definitely the assessments that we have are assessment of English in a business context, using business English themes and business English topics. We have a variety of assessments at Cambridge ESOL for the industry, and these assessments are fit for purpose. The World of Work qualifications, and you'll see the branding around outside, and there is some more information on the table. We have BEC, BULATS, IATEFL degree, all qualifications aimed at the workplace sector. I'm not going to go into detail about them, and you can find more details at the stand. There's also some information on the table for you to take part. It's quite interesting because Mark was talking about confidence, and this is what the clients are expecting in their employees' ability. They expect to they want to feel confident that their employees can do the job that they're expecting them to do in English. Our responsibility is to assess that and to provide them with that confidence that yes, if your employee gets one of these certificates at the level that you benchmark that you require, you will feel confident that they can operate at that level. I'm talking more about benchmarking on Saturday morning, and that's really about what corporations are doing to benchmark their employee skills in order to get more confidence. But that is really what the assessments are all about. It's a business English assessment. We find that companies are requiring certification. We sell a lot of exams, and we're still in business because multinationals, corporations around the world require assessments. A lot of companies have been doing their own internal assessments, but we're finding now that more companies are moving towards wanting international benchmarks for the very reason that earlier speakers were talking about. We're working in a more globalized environment, we're finding we're working in a virtual environment, and employees around the world have to communicate not only with their own companies, but with other companies as well. So international benchmarks are being used, and international language qualifications are being used more. BEC is one of the qualifications I want to give you more detail about today. I know we've been talking a lot about BULATS at the last BESIG conference. But BEC is used by companies as a recruitment tool to assess the language skills of employees. We find that it's used on training programs, so if somebody goes in and they conduct a benchmarking activity and then want to conduct a training program at the end, companies then use BEC to conduct an assessment. It's also used as part of career development in many companies and for overseas placement. It really is for companies where there is more investment in language training and in language assessment, and where there's a very clear strategy that they do want to spend money on providing learning and training for their employees. So some of the qualifications that we have that are fit for purpose for the business English industry, BEC, which is our certificated exams. ILEC is a legal English qualification, again, testing English in a legal context. So we're not testing the law, that is not our responsibility. We're experts in language assessment. ICFE, our qualification for finance, again, is testing English in a financial context. So again, it's the context of ESP, the context of business English. We're not testing the actual content of finance or legal. And then we have BULATs, and there's more information on the table, which assesses across all levels from general business English. Now, the business English certificates, we've been talking about the business context, and that is a qualification that is very ingrained in assessing in a business context. It's excellent for anybody that is working or for people that are preparing for work. And we find that a lot of university students take BEC, a lot of universities have signed up for that internationally. It's used globally, and there's a lot of recognition for BEC by multinationals across the world. Two of our key markets, China and India, is where we have a lot of candidates in the university sector that take BEC because it's recognised by multinationals for their jobs. Europe is another large market. We do a lot of work in Germany, for those of you working in Germany. We do a lot of work in the UK, Switzerland, Austria, our key markets. France tends to be a market where people don't really want to do as many certificated exams, and so they tend to use BULATs, for example. But for those companies where they do have integrated training programs and where there's more investment in training in companies, BEC is a qualification that is adopted. So I'm not going to go into details about what BEC involves, but really what you are assessing is reading, writing, listening, and speaking. So all 4 skills are assessed, but again in a business context. So as a language teacher, you can feel confident to go in and prepare candidates for these exams, because what you really are teaching is English, but in that business context. And our expertise is really in English, so to feel the confidence that you have in English, to be able to use that in a different context is quite important. And more details about this, if you go down to the stand tomorrow, there will be colleagues available. We do have a business English afternoon tomorrow afternoon, and there will be colleagues there from after lunch that you can speak to more and get more details about the exam. So what we do say is that it is more than an English exam. What it is a business English exam, and a business English exam is really assessing English in a business context, and this is what it's all about. What you are assessing is the context of English within business skills. So business writing, meeting skills, negotiation skills, business etiquette, presentations, telephone skills, etc. From my own experience of teaching business English, the one thing I did experience was that you would walk into a company. In most cases, people are very competent in their own language to conduct a presentation or a negotiation or meeting skills. They're not expecting us to teach them that. There may be occasions where, yes, they are, and then they may call in management trainers. But what they are expecting is to have the language skills, the English language skills, in order to be able to work confidently and competently using these skills.